Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Well, I certainly hope that Ellen had a great birthday, and I hope that Leora has an awesome trip because she's going away on holiday. Now, it's getting darker and colder out. Winter is upon us, and winter means different things. It means death and rebirth, and it means darkness, and sometimes it also means the winter of man's soul. This weekend was the anniversary of Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, the German pogrom against Jews. Light a candle, never forget, be ever vigilant. We will not be silenced. We will not be stopped. We still gather and share in our communities as we have done for thousands of years. As we gather our group of like-minded, like-souled fellows seeking unification of spirit. And that's not a religious thing. It's a human thing. The collective consciousness of seekers coming together in a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to come gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Ya. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Ya. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. Together. Because as a community, my friends, let's all spread some love, some goodwill, fellowship to the world. Remember, this is your setting aside a little bit of sacred time in your own little sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. It's part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe, your goodwill. Okay, and let's send some of that goodwill out to invoke healing and renewal for everybody. It floats through space, finding those in need. So just think of who you want to send energy to. Think of it for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever that needs healing, renewal, and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them, call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets, it's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, my friends, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to make things better. So let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need. For those in our hearts and minds, for Rudy, for Bob, for David, for Alicia and Cassie, for Alex, for Chris, and for my dear sweet Melissa. Friends, it is the kindness, healing, wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avoteinu Makor HaBracha Avoteinu, may the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Misha Baruch, let us all have our spirits renewed, my friends. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as is healed before. Misha Baruch, may he who bless, because healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy and our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, the cosmic book has finished. The genealogy we saw at the very end was a narrowing to get us from universe to galaxy to global to local to one family. Family of Abraham, the first of the patriarchs. And we'll be introduced to an important biblical signal, a double name calling. We see it several times with Abraham, actually, and we see it with Jacob. We see it with Moses. Here we see it in the title of this parsha. With an individual, it signals a life-altering event. Here, we see it as a double verb. And as a double verb, it means an emphatic order. Lech, lecha, go, you go. Or as George Harrison had written on Rocky, the Stratocaster used on Sgt. Pepper in his tribute to Carl Perkins, Go, cat, go. Well, sometimes it ain't easy, boy, to roll out of bed, shake the cobwebs hanging from your head. But you were born to be in the human race, and if you don't start moving, you're gonna finish in last place. You gotta go, go, go. Go, cat, go, cat, go. Hey, that sun is up, and you cannot lay around. Get off your butt, you can't do it. Sit down. Don't say you can't. Can't never did a thing. If you believe you can do anything. You gotta go, go, go. Go, cat. Go, cat, go. There's a real lesson there, my friends. All success in anything you attempt at all, takes motion. It takes action. Inspiration, intention, thought, and planning, they set the stage. But action makes it happen. Action puts it in motion. You got to go, cat, go. If Abraham did not leave his land, his home, his father, what would have happened? Would anything? Would we know who he was? If Moses did not heed the words of the burning bush, would we all still be slaves? Now, there's a midrash in there. What if they did not go? Well, let's go back to the story. If someone tried to tell you what happens, well, much of the story belongs in Peabody's improbable history. Because if you were Abraham's family, you'd think of having an intervention. 75-year-old gets instructions from no one to pack up and move to where? To where this voice that no one else hears says, where I will show you. In other words, he doesn't know where he's going. Your father, your grandfather, your uncle, your friend says this and packs up. What do? You call the doctor. He will leave his life, his family, his home, and not know what for. Now, is this a sign of faith? Is this the first sign of faith we're seeing? Is this our first glimpse into the character of this man? Friends, we tend to be driven by one or two forces in life. We either take steps to go to something or to get away from something. And those who are motivated by leaving often do not know where they're going in life, in which case any road will take them there. I've been traveling on a wing and a prayer, by the skin of my teeth, by the breath of my hair. Traveling where the four winds blow, with the sun on my face and the ice and the snow. But oh Lord, we pay the price with the spin of the wheel and the roll of the dice. Oh yeah, you pay your fare. You don't know where you're going. Any road will take you there. Well, where are you going, my friends? Do you actually know? Do you have goals, aspirations? Are you reaching for something? Now, many whose life has been a path of leaving have a harder time formulating goals. Their energy went into leaving, not going. They do not plan the same way. Now, what road have you been taking? Do you ever think about it? If you do not like it, you can change it. If you've been fleeing and would rather go towards something, stop, take a deep breath and ask yourself what you really want in life. Pick a goal. Make a vision board. And we have a presentation on vision boards coming up. Go towards something. Do not just flee. And yes, I know it can be difficult when you've spent your whole life running, being hyper vigilant, just getting away. But you can change. And sometimes you really need to think about where is it you want to go. I walked along the avenue. I never thought I'd meet a girl like you. Meet a girl like you. With auburn hair and tawny eyes. The kind of eyes that hypnotize me through. Hypnotize me through. And I ran so far away. I just ran all and they couldn't get away. Now there's someone who was simply running away. Where will they go? What does that accomplish? Let's get back to Abraham. Genesis 12:1. The Lord said to Abraham, go from your land and from your birthplace, from your father's house, to the land that I'll show you. Well, no one stops him. He takes his 65-year-old wife and leaves. He wanders in foreign countries a while. And then due to economic circumstances, he goes to yet another country. And on the way, he says to his wife, tell everyone you're my sister. Because you're so gorgeous and desirable, they'll kill me to be with you. I'm not saying it's not possible, but the king of that country, Caesar, is smitten and wants her to be his queen. So he gives the guy great gifts, marries her, but then finds out his new wife is already married to this guy. So he goes to Abraham and he asks, why did you lie? And he sends them away with great wealth. He wasn't going to marry somebody who's married. This is the father of our nation. Abraham constructed a lie, and he put his wife in a compromising situation to support it. We find out later it may not be such a lie. That becomes a possible clue to his origins. That's another story. In addition, there's no evidence in the Bible that the Egyptians or anyone else ever did what Abraham fears that they would do. There's another great midrash tale about Abraham, and it supports the concept of his having a beautiful, desirable wife. It's the midrash about Abraham working in his father's idol shop and breaking the idols and blaming one for doing it. It's why we say he was the first monotheist. His father asks what happened, and he points to an idol, and he says he did it. And his father says he's just an idol. He can't break anything. And Abraham says, see, it's just an idol. It's not God. And he packs up, and he heads off. Well, if he's 75 years old, still working at his father's idol shop, well. But he will find a home. Abraham heads out on his journey, but he will find a home. And he will later send his servant there to find a wife for his son, Isaac. And that, too, becomes a very contentious issue in the Bible. But friends, home and going towards something becomes really important to us. And it's always the place we want to go. And every one of you has a promised land, and that is your home. Birmingham, they love the governor. And we all did what we could do. Now Watergate does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Tell the truth. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Now that's one of the great thinking of home and where I want to go songs. Now you can ignore this whole middle section coming up in this parsha about the kings. It just does not belong and it makes no sense to the story. And the part about ransoming Lot is just for backstory. It introduces us to Sodom and Gomorrah, which we will hear much more about next week, and to this character called Melchizedek, Genesis 14:18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and he was a priest of El the Highest. Okay, so let's break down the name. Melchizedek. Melech, king. Tzedek, righteous. A righteous king who happened to be the king of Salem, Jerusalem, and a priest of Elyon, a name we see used for God, the Most High. And he turns out to be a believer. Same God as Abraham. Genesis 14:19. And he blessed him and said, blessed is Abram to El the Highest, creator of skies and earth. And blessed is El the Highest, who delivered your foes into your hands, and he gave him a tithe from everything. The creator of skies and earth, those are the two witnesses Moses calls on throughout his disclosure. So it's the same God that Abraham and Melchizedek, that Moses gets to know. Now, it's fascinating, but it's also not what the story's about. It's about insight into Abraham's character. We hear God talk to him, and Abraham complains. He complains he has no heirs. And so his servant will end up inheriting all of his riches, and he doesn't like that. And God tells him he will have a child. Now, friends, this is the ultimate annunciation. It's not an angel making the announcement. It is God himself. This then becomes the first of three incredible glimpses into Abraham's character. His relationship to God, who he walks with and talks to, and to family, some of whom he treats well and some not so well. He'd fought with his nephew Lot, who we learn more about next week, and they went their separate ways. But when Lot was in trouble, Abraham went to save him. Family, special bond. Perhaps it is an invisible energy that has always existed. So we see Abraham talk to God and complain, and God tells him he will father children. And in a few pages, we learn about Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian maid, who, with Sarah's blessing, in fact, Sarah's idea, marries Abraham and gives birth to Ishmael, Abraham's first son. And here we have a great annunciation scene with an angel talking to Hagar, who was treated horribly, even telling her what to name the child, Ishmael. God has heard. It's a wonderful part of this parsha. And next week, we get great character incident number 2, when Abraham, the great host, welcomes the strangers. And God tells Abraham he's going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham starts to bargain like a sales agent with the omnipotent, omniscient God, who must already know the outcome. So he must be bargaining with Abraham just for amusement. And the third great character incident comes up after that, and it is, of course, the quintessential story of Judaism, the Akedah, the binding of Isaac, the near sacrifice, when God says to Abraham, kill your son. And Abraham simply says, okay. He went from complaining to arguing and negotiating for people he did not know, and into complete blind obedience and no defense for his own son. What happened? We chalk it up to his faith. But again, someone should be writing a midrash about it. And a midrash is simply a what if. Now, we'll talk about the binding of Isaac when the time comes. And friends, there is a midrash that says the sacrifice did take place and Isaac died. Yes, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. And examine your intentions. Because we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is all linked together, my friends. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you may have wronged. Ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability, and with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be a forgiving and compassionate person, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. Keep it in mind. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being. Keep sharing. Keep shining. Keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none. Defraud none. Hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart and quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you, because you're never alone, my friends. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. So continue to do that, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief. Never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. Remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, and they free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And remember to start to move towards something. Have a vision, have a goal, have a desire to get somewhere. Move in a direction of to, not from. Dark and silent, late last night, think I might have heard the highway call. Geese in flight, dogs that bite, signs that might be omens, say I'm going to Carolina. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sun shine? Can't you just feel the moon shine? Baby, like a friend of mine, yeah, from behind. Going to Carolina in my mind. That starts in the mind. It always does. Think of where you need to go. Take a step. Friends, hold on to your vision. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you all next time. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.